No, it's my understanding the court wants to stop at 4:45.
State calls analyst Megan McMahon.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
If you could please be seated, state and spell your name for the record.
My name is Megan McMahon. My first name is M-E-G-H-A-N-N. My last name is M-C-M-A-H-O-N.
How are you employed?
I'm employed as a trace evidence analyst at the State Crime Lab in Milwaukee.
What does that mean?
So trace evidence encompasses a variety of types of evidence submitted. It can include the analysis of glass, fibers, paint, general unknowns, and in this case, I analyzed evidence submitted for fire debris as well as physical fit.
What is physical fit?
Physical fit is the analysis of items that are broken to determine if they could fit together to form one contiguous piece.
Can you describe what your training, experience, and education is that allows you to work in this capacity?
So I have a Bachelor's of Science in Spanish from the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and I have a Master's of Science in Forensic Science from John Jay College of Criminal Justice. In addition to my education at the laboratory, I completed an in-house training program for both fire debris and physical fit. In general, those training programs encompass readings, lectures, hands-on exercises, and culminate in what is called a competency test, which is essentially a mock case.
How long have you worked in your capacity at the crime lab?
I've been at the lab in Milwaukee since 2015.
In your capacity at the crime lab, when you analyze something, you document it through a report, correct?
Yes.
Showing you what's been marked exhibit number 438. Can you identify what that is?
Exhibit 438 is a copy of the laboratory report that I issued on May 16th, 2024 for laboratory case R24-952.
I'd ask that exhibit 438 be received. Any objection?
No.
It's received. And what does that report document?
So this report is a report of my analysis for item BD that was submitted to the laboratory for fire debris analysis.
What was item BD?
Item BD was one sealed paper bag that contained one gallon can that had burned debris in it that was reportedly recovered from a vehicle.
The number or lettering system, BD, is that how your lab keeps track of things?
Yes, when evidence is submitted to the laboratory, it's given a laboratory item designator. So we start at A and continue on until all the evidence for a case has been submitted.
Handing you what's been previously received as exhibit number 52. What is that?
So exhibit 52 is laboratory item BD for case R24-952, and I can tell that by this yellow sticker that's on the bag.
So exhibit number 52 is the item that you analyzed and subsequently documented that analysis in report with the exhibit 438 sticker on it.
That is correct.
Okay. Can you describe what you did upon receiving item BD or exhibit 52?
Yes, so I first would open up the bag, open up the can, do a visual exam of what's inside of the can. In this case, I couldn't determine what was inside the can, so I called it burned debris. After that, I take a charcoal strip and I suspend it inside of the can. put the lid back on the can, and then I put the can in an oven. So what happens when the can is in the oven is anything that's volatile or will go into like a gaseous state, we'll do that and it will adhere into that strip that I suspended inside of the can. The cans stay in the oven overnight for approximately 16 hours. After the 16 hours is up, I take the can out of the oven, I take the strip out of the can, and I put the strip into a small vial. Into that vial, I add a little bit of solvent or a little liquid. And what happens is anything that was stuck onto that strip that was in the can will then dissolve into that liquid. I then take the liquid and I analyze it on an instrument called a gas chromatograph mass spectrometer. And the data that I get from the sample that was analyzed on, or I analyzed on the instrument, I compare to a reference that was also run on the instrument under the same conditions in order to come to a conclusion if an ignitable liquid is present or not. So in this case, I was able to conclude that a medium petroleum distillate was present in item BD.
What is a petroleum distillate?
So petroleum distillate is one class of ignitable liquids. Ignitable liquids are classified rather than identified because there can be, because manufacturers market the ignitable liquids to their end use. For example, medium petroleum distillate could be the same liquid, but it's marketed as a paint thinner or as a charcoal lighter fluid. So for ignitable liquid analysis, we classify them as opposed to identify them.
Are there other classifications of petroleum distillates?
There are light, medium, and heavy petroleum distillates.
What are some examples of a light petroleum distillate?
A light petroleum distillate could be charcoal lighter fluid. It could be say like a lighter fluid that you would use to light a cigarette. Compounds that are smaller than what would be a medium petroleum distillate.
What's a heavy petroleum distillate?
So a heavy petroleum distillate, something like that would be diesel fuel or kerosene.
What about regular gasoline?
Gasoline is its own classification.
And is it just gas or gasoline as its own classification, or is there a title for it? It's not.
It's gasoline.
Okay. Items like paint thinner and lighter fluid have smells to them typically in your experience?
I would say that petroleum distillates have a smell. I don't know what, in general, when I receive liquid as an item of evidence, I don't know where it's coming from, so I couldn't tell you if it was a paint thinner or a charcoal lighter fluid, but it does have a smell.
Did you note any odor from exhibit number 52, item number BD?
Because it was debris, I did not smell it.
Petroleum distillates, including medium petroleum distillates, are ignitable liquids, correct?
Yes.
And what would ignite a liquid such as a medium petroleum distillate?
A flame?
Okay, a flame from anywhere?
Yes.
Okay, so a flame from a match.
A match, a lighter.
Okay, in addition to doing the ignitable liquid analysis, what else did you do as it relates to this case?
I also received broken pieces with the request to determine if a physical fit was present between these pieces and a vehicle that was submitted.
What was the vehicle that was submitted?
I'd have to refer to my report.
You drafted a report?
Yes.
Showing you what's been marked exhibit 437. What is this?
Thank you. Exhibit 437 is a copy of the laboratory report that I authored on May 10th, 2024 for case R24952.
Does that document what vehicle you received?
Yes, I received a Honda Civic, Wisconsin license plate ASP-1171.
And does that actually physically come to you at the lab?
Yes.
Who did you receive that from? What agency?
It would have been received by our evidence technician, so I'm not sure what agency submitted it.
Does the vehicle itself receive an item number?
Yes.
What item number was the Honda Civic?
The vehicle was item BQ.
What else did you receive?
So I received items BR through BV, through BV, and those were all broken pieces that were submitted.
I'd ask that Exhibit 437 be received.
Any objection?
No.
437 is received.
Showing you what have already been received into evidence. I'll show you first Exhibit 28, 29, and 30, if you can identify what those are, if you've seen them before.
So Exhibit 28 is item BR for case R24952, and again, it has the yellow label that's put on at the laboratory.
And what is item BR?
Item BR was a broken mirror that was submitted. Exhibit 29 is item BS for laboratory case R24952, and item BS was a piece of broken black plastic. And then Exhibit 30 was received as laboratory item BT for case R24952. There were 5 pieces of broken black plastic that are inside here. So when I did my analysis, I sub-designated them as items BT1 through BT5.
And what about Exhibits 31 and 32?
So Exhibit 31 is laboratory item BU for case R24952. And this is a piece of broken black and silver plastic. And then Exhibit 32 is item BV for case R24952. This had 8 pieces of broken plastic inside, so during my analysis, I sub-designated them BV1 through BV8.
Why don't you start with item BR and walk us through what your analysis entailed?
So in general, with my analysis, what I'm first going to do is open up the broken pieces that were submitted, and I'm going to do a visual exam and a microscopic exam of those pieces and document what I observe. Then, if there are any of those pieces that look like they would fit together to each other, I would do that physical fit at that time. After I'm done with all of that, then I took all of the pieces and I went to the vehicle, which is in a different part of the laboratory, and I attempted to do a physical fit from the pieces to the vehicle. So there were 3 pieces that I was able to physically fit back to the vehicle.
And just as a preliminary question, to physically fit something together, does an item have to be broken?
Yes.
So if a piece of a car falls off but isn't broken, can you conclusively say that it comes from that car?
No. So in general, that conclusion might be something like detached but not broken from the vehicle. There might not be anything broken for a physical fit analysis to be attempted.
So it's fair to say that you're looking at how an item fragments when it's broken?
I'm comparing broken pieces to broken areas on the vehicle.
Okay, you said that there were 3 items that you were able to fit.
Yes.
What were those?
So I was able to fit item BT3, which was broken black plastic to the vehicle, the front grille area. I was able to fit item BS, which was a broken piece of the license plate holder to the license plate holder that was on the vehicle. And then item BU, which was broken black and silver plastic to the passenger side fog light area on the vehicle.
What about the other items?
So items BV3 through BV8, so submitted broken pieces, I was able to fit back together to each other, but that piece, there was nothing broken on the vehicle for me to attempt a physical fit for that. The same thing with item BV1 and BV2. There wasn't anything broken on the vehicle for me to attempt a physical fit. And then items BR, BT1 and 2, 4 and 5, there was no physical fit attempted. So the vehicle was damaged, it was burned. So for safety reasons, we didn't want to put it up on a lift. And the pieces that were not attempted appear to be interior pieces. So there was no more analysis done.
BV3 through BV8 are described as pieces of black glossy plastic, correct?
Yes.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but your findings were that all of those pieces fit together, correct?
Yes.
On the Honda Civic, item BQ, was there a part that was missing in the area where those items BV3 and BV8 would have fit?
So I was able to use that conclusion, detached but not broken, for the one contiguous piece that BV3 through BV8 formed. But again, there wasn't anything broken on the vehicle for me to do a physical fit for that.
Was there an area of the Honda Civic that was missing a piece consistent with what you put together for BV3 through BV8?
There wasn't anything there, but again, it wasn't, there wasn't anything broken on the vehicle.
Okay.
So it appeared as though, again, that piece fit in there, but I'm not able to do any more analysis in the sense of I can't say there's a physical fit because there was nothing broken for me to try to attempt to do a physical fit on.
And so that's where you come to the conclusion that it appeared to be detached.
Yes.
What about items B1 and BV2 that you described? Did you come to the conclusion that those items, when put together, appeared to have been detached from the Honda Civic?
Yes, it would be the same conclusion. BV1 and BV2 both appeared detached but not broken from the vehicle.
And again, the area where BV1 and BV2 appeared to have been detached, was the Honda Civic missing that particular piece?
The piece wasn't there, but I couldn't make a conclusion as far as if BV1 and BV2 were the pieces that belonged to the vehicle.
But the Honda Civic was missing that particular piece?
The pieces were not there, yes.
I don't have anything further.
Cross?
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So one part of your role in this investigation was to test some burn materials, correct?
Yes.
And did they arrive to you in like the big gallon bucket or 5-gallon bucket?
They arrived in a gallon can that was in this paper bag.
Okay. And when you're doing your testing, you're doing it at your lab, correct?
Yes.
And you said you didn't like smell the odor of the the fragments or the burn materials, correct? Because you do like some sort of testing and you're able to determine that there's a petroleum distillate, correct?
In general, the only items that would be smelled would be liquids that are submitted. So because this was burned debris, I did not smell it.
But you have like instruments that tell you that it's petroleum distillate, correct?
Yes, the gas chromatograph mass spectrometer.
And can that determine whether something has like, I think they said a light, a medium?
Yes,
Okay. And you were able to come to the conclusion that, you know, this burn material it was ignited by like lighter fluid or paint thinner. Those are contained in petroleum distillate, correct?
I was able to conclude that a medium petroleum distillate is present. There are lighter fluids and paint thinners that would be classified as a medium petroleum distillate, but there also are paint thinners and lighter fluids that might not be, which is why it's just a medium petroleum distillate.
Those are just common examples, right?
Yes,
And like lighter fluid and painter fluid, those are things people can purchase at like a hardware store, correct?
I would imagine so, yes.
Like a Home Depot, a Lowe's, an Ace Hardware, something like that.
I would think so, yes.
And then the other part of your investigation was to kind of, I mean, I'm just speaking in layman's terms here, is you get pieces of what might belong to a car and you determine if you can draw that conclusion, if these pieces came from that car.
The pieces have to be broken in order to do the physical fit analysis. So what I'm determining is if the broken pieces would fit to a broken area on the vehicle.
And your conclusion was that these broken pieces belong to this Honda Civic, correct?
3 of the pieces physically fit back to the vehicle.
All right, I have nothing further.
State? Nothing. Thank you.
Thank you.
He would then recall Detective Donner.
Second, the next box empty.
I'm sorry.
Second, the next box empty. Oh. We have a different court reporter, we're gonna re-swear you.
Oh, sure.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
If you could please be seated, restate and respell your name for the record.
Detective Joanne Donner, Joannndonner.
Detective Donner, as part of your follow-up investigation into this case, on October 1st of 2024, did you conduct an experiment related to the seat positions as they were known to have been found in Sade Robinson's Honda Civic?
I did.
Did that involve you going out to some car dealership in Milwaukee County?
It actually was in Waukesha County, Menominee Falls.
Okay. And tell us what the purpose of that experiment was.
I volunteered one of my detectives who is 6'1", which is based on the same DOT height for Maxwell Anderson, and another deputy who is 5'1", which is actually 1 inch taller than Sade Robinson's DOT. I couldn't find anybody that was 5 foot, so she would have to do. What I did was then go out to the dealership and found a 2020 Honda Civic, same model and make of her car, same year, and positioned the seat according to those that you saw in the arson photos. Then I was able to place Deputy Balsamo into the seat to see if that was a comfortable position for her to drive in, or if it would work better for Detective Blanchard.
In going to the dealership or dealerships, if you will, at some point were you able to determine what the value of a 2020 Honda Civic is?
Yes, the average value is approximately $20,000.
All right, so you took a deputy who was 5'1" and a deputy who was 6'1",
Correct.
and did you take pictures of this experiment?
I did.
I'm gonna show you exhibits 90 through 108. Yeah.
Tell me the numbers one more time.
90 through 108.
Thank you.
Are those the photos from the experiment?
They are.
Okay. Move 90 through 108 in.
Any objection?
No.
Received.
I asked to publish, not all of them, but a few.
Go ahead.
Detective Donner, what was the seat position of Sade Robinson's Honda Civic?
I had to base the measurements in the photos from the arson, just based on what the curvature of, if it had cushioning and foam. So I used the frame of the lumbar support that seemed to be the most accurate. That position for the back would be 42 inches, and for the front edge of the seat would be 22 inches.
Okay, so did you position the seat of the Honda Civic you used for this experiment to that same position?
I did, with the exception of the back. It is the manual style, and I couldn't lock it in at 42 inches, and I could only lock it in at 43. So it was 1 inch farther back on the back of the seat.
All right, and then did you have both deputies sit in that seat?
I did.
For starters, these are the two people you used, right?
That's correct.
The one on the right actually testified in this trial.
Correct.
Okay. And then could you show me the picture of the, you pick out the picture of each of them sitting in the seat when it was at the distance of Sade's car, when Sade's car was recovered?
I took several photos showing the arm extension and also the feet towards the foot pedals.
I'm going to show on the TV 94 and 95. When you had the 5'1" deputy sit in the chair, were her feet able to touch the pedals?
No, they were not.
And her arms, exhibit 95, fully outstretched?
Fully outstretched, elbows locked.
When Detective Blanchard on the right here sat in that seat, how did that go?
Much better.
97, feet reached the pedals comfortably
Yes, they did.
and sat in the chair comfortably.
Correct.
Looks relaxed.
Yes.
Did you then have, what was her name again?
Balsamo.
Can you spell it for the record?
I sure can. It's Balsamo.
Did you have Deputy Balsamo adjust the seat to a position where she felt comfortable?
I did.
And did you have Detective Blanchard sit in that seat?
I did.
Can you show us what that looked like? Here's Exhibit 102. Scrunched up to the front.
Yes.
Attorney Vance Cruzan, can you use the mic, please?
Sorry, Judge.
That's okay.
All right, and head not comfortable.
It was actually touching the ceiling. He could not put it back any farther. He had to be hunched over forward to fit.
Nothing else.
Cross?
So if I understand correctly, all you did was test the seat for, well, first of all, the car itself was burned away. The seats were burned away, right?
Correct.
The cushioning was gone.
Correct.
And so you're using the metal that would have been behind the cushioning for the measurement. Do I have that correct?
Along the sides, you can see there's a part of the lumbar that curves. That's what I was using to base my measurement, and then feeling through the vehicle that we used for the experiment.
Got it. And it was a manual seat.
It was.
Is that the same as Sade's car?
I do not know because her car was so badly damaged on the inside.
Okay, so we don't know if it was manual or automatic.
Correct.
But as I understand it, you used only 2 people for this experiment, if you will.
Yes,
A person who's 5'1" and a person who is 6'1".
correct.
And anybody in between?
No, I did not.
Didn't test any other sizes, 5'7", 5'6", to see how comfortable those people would be?
No,
Okay, different people sit with their seats at different comfort levels, obviously.
correct.
You're not offering this as any sort of science, are you?
No,
That's all.
State?
No, nothing else.
Thank you, Detective.
thank you.
State?
State calls Detective Casey Donahue.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Would you please be seated, state and spell your name for the record?
My name is Casey Donahue, Casey Donahue.
How are you employed?
I'm a detective with the City of Milwaukee Police Department.
Are you assigned to the City of Milwaukee Police Department's homicide unit?
Yes, I am.
How long have you been a detective with the city?
I've been a detective for over 4 years, and I've been with the Homicide Division since June of 2022.
Did you assist in the investigation related to a missing person named Sade Robinson?
Yes, I did.
And when your department, the Milwaukee Police Department, became involved in the investigation, had you come to learn that her car was set on fire near the intersection of 30th and Lisbon?
Yes, I was.
And I have Exhibit 190 on the TV screen. Are you able to see that?
Yes.
Do you need a second to orient what the map's showing?
Yes, I'm familiar with that area.
Okay, we got Lisbon Avenue right here at the top, right?
Yes,
Okay, and then 30th Street, where my pen is here?
yes, that is correct.
All right. The vehicle fire that we're talking about, were you aware that it occurred right where my pen's pointing now?
Yes, it was behind 2928 West Lisbon.
This entire map depicts a location within the city and county of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, right?
It is, yes.
Was one of the things that you were tasked with doing trying to locate video from the area where Sade Robinson's car was set on fire?
Yes, I was.
Did you locate video from the address of 2900 West Lisbon Avenue?
Yes, I did.
What is 2900 West Lisbon Avenue?
2900 West Lisbon Avenue is a liquor store that is in the area.
Is it on this map?
It is, yes.
Would you be able to stand up and point out where that building is?
Yes. The liquor store is located right here.
All right. So basically at the other corner from where the car was burned.
It would have been just to the east from where the car was burned. Car would have been burned in the rear of this location right here, which the building is actually no longer there.
At the time you recovered video, the building was there?
Yes, it was.
I'm going to bring up on the screen in a moment here Exhibit 192. Were you able to recover video footage from multiple cameras that was of interest to this investigation?
Yes, we did.
What were those? Can you, using the map, please tell us generally what those cameras were and where they were facing?
Yes.
Can you bring the mic closer to you as well? Thank you, Detective.
So from the liquor store, one of the cameras that we recovered video from would have been pointing in a western direction down the sidewalk area and was affixed to the south part of this building. The second camera view that we had would have been actually on top of the roof of the liquor store, and it was pointed in a northern direction.
Basically pointed off the map here.
Yes.
You can have a seat, thank you. This video, did it have audio?
It did, yes.
All right, Detective, I have on screen, I believe it was the first camera angle you described. So we're looking up at the date and timestamp here in the upper left-hand corner. It says February 4, 2024, 06:48:37, correct?
That is correct, yes.
And did you, when you were covering this video, ascertain whether or not the date and timestamp on this video was accurate?
Yes, it was in fact accurate.
The street,
I'm sorry, before we go any further, there's a brief matter, I think, could we just be heard at sidebar real quick?
sure,
And what exhibit is this?
192.
Thank you. State, please proceed.
Thank you. The purpose of reviewing this video is to see if you could find anything about how Miss Robinson's car was set on fire.
Yes, and if I could just clarify one thing quick.
Sure.
So if you notice the date in the top left-hand corner, it is going to appear in what I consider like European date. So it's gonna have the day, then the month, and then the year.
Thank you for clarifying that. I'm going to advance the first video I have up, and for the record, the video title is extremely long. It starts with D2 and ends in 1900, and it's on the disc that's marked Exhibit 194. Sorry, 192.
Okay. You had originally indicated 192.
Yes, it is 192.
Okay.
All right. I'm advancing that video to 1:47. One of the things you were also looking for was to see if you could see her car driving.
Yes,
And did you in fact find instances in this camera footage of her Honda Civic driving around?
yes.
I have the video queued up to 1:47. The date and timestamp is what, Detective?
If I could just stand up. The date and time is gonna be April 2nd, 2024 at 6:50 a.m. and 29 seconds.
What do you see?
If you notice towards the top of the screen, you're gonna see a vehicle that appears to be Sade Robinson's vehicle.
Snowman, I'm iced out.
paused at 2:15. I'm gonna switch back real briefly to the map. What we just watched was that vehicle, which appeared consistent with a Honda Civic, right?
Yes,
It traveled northbound on 30th Street through the intersection right here of Lisbon, correct?
yes, that is correct.
That's what we just watched.
Yes,
And in a little bit, if we get there today, did you also recover a video coming from where that car came from?
yes.
And where is that video on this map?
That video is gonna be from the H-Bar Cylinder Services, and that's located at 1651 North 30th Street.
All right, so the video that you got from here actually would precede what we just watched, and it shows that car going up 30th, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Is that how you knew that car was the same one?
Yes, and also there's identifiable features on the car, more specifically damage, that we were able to determine that that was in fact Sade Robinson's vehicle.
And related to all of this, where is the 31st and Galena playground?
That is gonna be located right here at approximately 1650 North 31st Street. And that's gonna be between the streets of Walnut, and then to the south is going to be Galena.
Going back to the video. I'm going to advance this clip to the 11-minute 58-second mark. The timestamp, we've gone up to 7:01:16 a.m. Is that correct?
Yes,
I'm going to play until 12:14. Oh, turn the volume off, sorry. See the vehicle again?
yes, I do.
Where's it going?
That vehicle is traveling southbound on North 30th Street from Lisbon.
I'm going to shift to the next video. The title starts with D2 again, and the last four digits are 3935 for the record. This video picks up at 7:19 a.m., is that right? We're at the beginning? Okay.
Yes, that is correct.
I'm going to advance to 3 minutes and 44 seconds. 7:22:58 a.m.
Yes,
Playing from that time until 4:12. And in the upper right, you see the vehicle pull off of 31st Street.
yes.
And now what's it doing, if you could point it out?
It's turning northbound onto North 30th Street from Lisbon.
Paused at 4:14. So that timestamp is 7:23:31?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. Gonna pull up clip D15, last four digits ending in 3307. Different camera, correct?
Yes, this is gonna be the camera I was referring to on top of the roof. So this is gonna be pointed in a northern direction. It does capture what is an L-shaped alley behind the address where the vehicle fire was located.
All right, so off to the left side of this screen is where that alley entrance would be, and you're telling me you can't get out onto this street that's on the right?
Not from there. This portion of the alley goes east to west and then turns to the north-south.
Point
So
out.
it's shaped as an L, which you can see would be kind of like this. So the alley comes here, and you have to turn to go north.
I'm gonna advance this video to 3 minutes and 3 seconds. The timestamp on this clip is actually in the lower right, and what time do we have?
This is gonna be 7:23 and 34 seconds.
What are we gonna be looking for here, Detective?
So you'll notice Sade's vehicle will pull up right down here and then conducts something like a Y-turn to go back in the other direction.
That other direction being where it would eventually be lit on fire.
That is correct, yes.
I'm gonna zoom in just to the left side of the video.
Oh, never mind, I have it on my computer. Got it, Jay. Yeah.
And I'm gonna play until 4:24.
This is gonna be the vehicle right here. As you can see, there's damage to the passenger side mirror. It's hanging off.
Okay, hanging low,
Yes, it's like,
playing it again at 3:35.
it's almost like it's dangling, just attached by wiring.
Paused it at 4 minutes, 20 seconds, and if I get out of the zoom here, you can see this is at 7:24:51 a.m., correct, Detective?
Yes, that is correct.
And the vehicle kind of, once it does that turn, very slowly kind of creeps forward, is that fair?
Yes, and it goes out of camera view.
I'm gonna go back to D2 ending in 3935 and cue the video up to 9 minutes and 49 seconds. 9 minutes, 40 seconds, sorry. So we're back to the original camera angle looking down Lisbon. This would be just a few minutes after that vehicle pulled off of the last camera frame, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
All right. Playing at 9:40. Paused at 9:56. Did two individuals just enter the frame from the bottom?
Yes, these two right here.
Okay, one of them has a LeBron James jacket on, correct?
Yes,
And the other holding a large umbrella.
yes, that is correct.
Are you gonna see them do anything in the upcoming clip?
Yes, when they get to approximately right here on the sidewalk, you will see them react to something that's happening over here. And at that same time, you're gonna see a subject wearing dark clothing with a tan camouflage backpack. He's gonna then cross the street as a city bus is passing him.
Heading south, the person with the backpack?
The person in the backpack is crossing in a southwest direction, and the bus is traveling westbound.
I'm gonna play until 11:51.
There's the subject crossing, there's the bus going by. As you can see, this person has stopped and begins to back up. And you see the other subject up here begins to run backwards, or run back from where she came from. She then points in the direction of from where, or the subject walking from behind the building. Says, call the police, call an ambulance.
Paused at 11:51. I want to go back to the point in the video. The audio doesn't seem to align up to the second with the video. Would that be fair to say?
Yes, that's fair to say.
But you can hear the words she is yelling, at least when you listen to this?
Yes, you can hear her say.
I'm going to object to him testifying to what another witness said.
I'm asking him what he hears. And he's already testified to some of it.
I think he's able to provide his opinion as to what it is, but the jurors should pay close attention to what they hear.
I'm going to play it again from 10:40. And actually, I'm going to go back even before that. All right, I have it at 10:30. That subject who walked out from the right side, just to be very clear, right around the corner of this building up here, that's where her car was set on fire, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And between the building that this camera is on and the building on the opposite corner, there's just a vacant field there.
Yes, so there's this vacant field, and then there's two buildings prior to the corner.
The car is behind the two buildings at the corner, right?
It is, it's behind the building further east.
So from the location where these two women stop, would they have had a clear vantage point of where the car was?
Yes, you can see right through to it's like a rear parking slab behind this building.
The subject who walks out from there, he crosses Lisbon, correct?
Yes.
What street does he go down?
He then
I'm going to
goes,
object to the gender being used at this point.
I think, what,
I'm going to sustain the objection, ask you to rephrase your question.
thank you. The subject who walks out from the side there, what direction does that subject go?
the subject goes southbound on North 30th Street.
And going back to that other camera we're talking about, down 30th Street that you also recovered that we'll watch, are you able to pick up that subject when he gets to the intersection of 30th and Walnut?
Yes, so 1651 North 30th Street is going to be on the southwest corner of Walnut and North 30th Street.
All right, back to this video. I'm going to pick it up from 10:10.
Is there a way to turn it up at all?
I'm sorry?
Can you turn it up
Up?
louder?
I can.
did that.
Gavel! The cover is coming, explode! Gavel, I think it's somebody to call the ambulance! Hey! Hey! Call the fire department! Hey! Call the fire department! Call the fire department!
Pause at 11:39. What did you hear her yelling after that? After you heard he did that.
Then she's saying to call the police, call the ambulance.
And where does she point?
She points in the direction where the subject walks off to, and she's pointing to where the vehicle fire was located. Or in a westbound direction.
All right, and then I actually have one other clip here to play. So the time where she's yelling, that's about 7:31:33, right? Up at the top left here? Sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
7:31 and 33 seconds.
All right, I'm gonna advance the video to 7:35:34 and play from there. Pause at 15 minutes, 30 seconds. So by 7:35, the Milwaukee Fire Department is arriving on scene.
Yes, that is correct.
Now I'm going to show you what's marked as Exhibit 193. While that's loading, I've got the map up here. And just to be very clear, the subject who walked across Lisbon Avenue would have came out on this side of the building, right?
Yes.
All right, and then he walks across Lisbon and heads down 30th Street here. Is that fair to say?
Yes, that is correct.
And does the video you got from this business or whatever this is pick up that same person walking?
Yes, it does.
Where does that person walk from and towards that we're about to see?
The person is on the east sidewalk of North 30th Street, and then he'll cross North 30th Street westbound on the north sidewalk.
On Walnut.
Correct.
I have to load up the player, so just give me 1 minute here.
And this will be 193?
Yes. All right. All right, first camera angle we're going to look at.
So this camera angle is pointed in a west-northwest direction, and it's going to capture West Walnut, and this is going to be the north sidewalk of West Walnut.
Okay. what, and the date and time stamp up here on the upper right corner, April 2nd, 2024, 6:50 a.m.?
Yes, that is correct.
Was that determined to be an accurate date and time stamp for this video?
Yes, it was. I believe it may have been 30 seconds off, but it was approximately the correct time.
All right, and I'm playing it from 6:50, I think it was 05.
Bless you.
So that's Walnut Street right there,
That is correct, yes.
and there's a vehicle coming.
Yes, as you can see, that's going to be Sade Robinson's Honda Civic, and we know that because of the damaged mirror that's hanging off of the vehicle.
That I'm circling with my mouse right here?
Yes,
All right, so 6:50 a.m., the car is appearing, and this is what? What is this area over here? Is that the playground?
no, so this area is going to be like a wooded area. It then goes down to a set of train tracks that cuts through the city. And this right here is going to be a bridge that goes over the train tracks. And then the playground is located directly on the other side of that, just to the south.
That playground in that area, would you later be involved in recovering human remains from there?
Yes, I was.
Playing from 6:50:26. And it's off camera by 6:50:29. I'm gonna bring up channel 2. Give me Sorry, let me just, I have to reload this up. All right, I'm gonna bring channel 2 forward to that same time period, 6:50. Where does this camera pick up as to where the other one left off?
So the other one was pointed in a more western direction. This covers more of a panorama view and shows north and west. So this is going to be the intersection of North 30th Street and West Walnut. And this is the bridge that I was referring to, that the train tracks go underneath.
The car we watched in the last clip that was coming eastbound, is it gonna then appear on this camera?
Yes, it will.
Playing at 6:50:18. All right, and you see the car there?
Yes,
And the window is rolling up,
yes.
okay? Able to see anybody in the passenger seat?
No, and it appears that there's a heavy amount of condensation on the windows.
Continuing from 6:50:37. The vehicle makes a northbound turn onto 30th Street, correct?
Yes, it does.
And then that's where we later pick it up on the liquor store video, the one we watched before this. Fair to say?
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right, same camera. We've now advanced to 7:30 a.m. And from the Lisbon Avenue camera that we watched previously, what do we know happened around 7:30 a.m.?
7:30 a.m. is where you see the subject that is coming from the vacant field area and crossing Lisbon towards North 30th Street and continuing to walk southbound.
Do you pick him up on this camera?
Yes, you'll see him. He's going to be walking southbound on the east sidewalk.
Playing. I'm going to advance the video to 7:31:43. All right, so that's not the same subject that I'm circling with my mouse here, correct?
No, that is not.
Okay. How about over here?
Yes, this is going to be the subject that crossed Lisbon. As you can see, he's carrying a very large backpack.
What race does he appear to be?
He appears to be a white male. You can also notice the soles of the shoes appear to be white, like a bright white sole, or a lighter colored than.
All right,
the,
I have it paused at 7:32:33 a.m. Just going to zoom in on him. The soles, you're talking about the shoes down here, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Dark pants.
Yes,
How about the top?
appears to be a dark hooded sweatshirt or zip-up jacket.
And large backpack.
Yes.
And are you able to catch glimpses of his face there?
Yes, he appears to be a white male, and also with the backpack appears to be a large military-style rucksack.
Pause that video at 7:32:53 a.m. I'm going to go back to the other channel. And cue that video up to 7:33:22. What are we going to see here? Where does this pick up from where the last video leaves off?
So this is going to be further west down West Walnut, and it will take us further down the sidewalk area.
I'm going to play from 7:33:22 a.m.
As you can see, with the same shoes, pants, continuing to walk westbound on the sidewalk.
Until he's out of frame.
Yes, that is correct.
Judge, this might be a good stopping point.
I agree with you. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, now it's even more important, my admonitions, right? So remember, no talking with anyone tonight, no looking at the media or researching anything, no investigation. Don't talk with each other as you leave, wear your juror badges prominently. We are going to kick up tomorrow morning, Celeste? 8:45. At 8:45. So we'll have you talk with the staff relative to that. Feel free to bring with you coffee, water, and soda. Please leave your notebooks on your chairs. Have a lovely night. Just put this out of your mind until you return tomorrow.
Judge, before the jury's excused, I don't know if I moved 193 in or 192.
Or 192.
I would like to move both of those in.
Any objection to 192 and 193?
No.
They are received into evidence at this point. Okay, have a lovely evening. We'll see you back in the morning. Leave your notebooks on your chairs, please. It's supposed to be warm tomorrow, and I want to warn you, my courtroom, quite often, the regulation's not great, and it might be really hot in here tomorrow. So wear layers is a really good tip for you, okay? Although we've been lucky so far. We'll see. Have a lovely evening.